What's up, everybody? Welcome to the From Setbacks to Success YouTube channel and podcast. We're going to get right into today's episode with my special host. She is the actually owner and founder of BK International Consultancy. And actually, Bejanae, I don't know if you knew this, you have the second top most popular video on our channel about how to get free money for felons. So welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. And I'm excited to hear that our first session went so well and has resonated with folks. Glad to be back and to drop some more gems.
That's what's up. I mean, it really just popped hard and a lot of engagement, and people had questions about the whole grant writing, how to get free money for your nonprofit or your business. And so we wanted to lean further into that, everybody, so that you could get more information about the subject. And this particular episode, we're going to start by kind of asking the top 5 questions that I got or received based upon the video. And for many of you who watched the previous episode, we'll include a link to that episode that we did. But based upon that information that was shared during the video, myself and Bejanae, we got a ton of questions about the subject. And so we're going to start with question number 1. What types of grants are available for my project or organization? So Bejanae, I'm going to turn it over to you to lace them up with some game on this.
Absolutely. So that is one of the top questions that I get as well. And so I want to share, I think in the past there was a common misconception that grants are only available for nonprofits, and that is not the case. And so grants are available not only for nonprofits, but also for small businesses, for entrepreneurs, for startup, for different population groups. So whether you are a woman-owned business, right, or a minority-owned business, or a veteran-owned business, there are grants available. There are also grants available. I have a background in the education space with Quincy, and
Yes,
we're all about educating here, right? And so there are
that's
also
right.
grants for folks who are in the education space. So like for schools, for teachers, people who want to go back to school. So there are grants for a variety of folks. It's just a matter of figuring out, finding the right grant for you, and then where to find that grant. So there are grants for
Okay.
everybody out there. Just
Okay.
FYI,
All
y'all.
right. All right. Sounds good. And with that, we want to again we want to provide value to everyone watching and listening right now. And so one of the things that I'll put down below in the links are different links that we have together combined to kind of find and kind of do some of the legwork for you to find those grants. There is one in particular, and we'll screen share this at this time. But there's a link that here where we found 31 small business grants for women. Bejanae looked at the list. I took a look at the list, and these are some actual legit grant sources for you to get, again, free money if you're a woman, female-owned business owners for your business. So that's one to start with there. There's another organization that we'll link here, and this one was actually included as one of the best grant tours sites and it's with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And so they have a competition called America's Top Small Businesses. So again, I will put that link in the description below. And at this time, we'll do a screen share here so you'll get an idea of what that website looks like and where you could go to get and apply for a bunch of grants. Good money. I think in this one, for the America's Top Small Businesses, they have a maximum grant of $25,000 for the winner, which that is quite a substantial amount of money. Free money, not a loan, not a line of credit, but actual money deposited into your business checking account that you can use for any purpose needed to grow and expand your business. So yeah, thank you, Bejanae, for sharing that. And let's go straight into question number 2. How do I find the right grant for my needs?
That is a great question. I think oftentimes, specifically for entrepreneurs, educators, nonprofits, we have a lot of needs, right? We need funding to help fuel and amplify our vision so we can get our product or services or whatnot out there to our target audience. And it's easy to want to fall into the trap of just searching for grants. I suggest having a very targeted search plan in finding grant opportunities that are going to set you up for success in being able to apply for them and win them. And so, what I often tell our clients is that start off with your needs. And so needs can fall into two categories. So one, it could be the things that you need to run your business or your organization, right? Those could be the material things, right? It could be equipment, it could be technology, it could be tools, it could be the internet for that matter, if you're using internet to run your business. So those are some materials. Those are your needs, your operational costs, what we call
Yes.
those. But there's another set of needs that grantors will look at, and is what is the need of your client? What is the need of your target audience, that who you are serving? And so I want to make sure that folks who are going after grant opportunities differentiate the two, because depending on the funder may focus on what I'm calling the grant program side versus your operational cost side. So it's very important to be clear about those things. If you want to write out a master list, right? Write out your master list of all the expenses that it takes for you to run your business or your operating costs, right? And then on the other side, what are all the expenses that you would need to effectively run your business, your service, your program for your target audience? And then once you're really clear about that, then I think it's helpful to go out and actually search for grants once you're clear on what are your internal needs and what are your external needs for your client or for your target audience.
Got you. Got you. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to just take a little step deeper and just kind of probe a little bit on that subject. Based upon maybe your experience, what have you found like are things that people want, small businesses, entrepreneurs are wanting to start, and give us kind of a real life example of how they might be able to find a free money out there to help them in that startup process. You got any kind of case studies or just examples that you've come across?
Absolutely. So I
Mm.
have tons of examples. So, for example, if you are in the health and wellness space as an entrepreneur, right? And say you're offering, it could be anything. Maybe you're offering, I don't know, vitamin supplements. Maybe you're offering catering culinary services that have a specific bend to more healthy lifestyle, right? It could be for folks who maybe have diabetes, right? Or have a special dietary restriction. So with those, you would make two lists, right? What are your internal operating costs? What do you need to run your business? So if you're in catering, I'm sure you're going to need catering supplies, right? Pots, pans, a spatula, things like that. You also
Right.
may need a facility, right? You may need a kitchen. So you may either own one, or maybe you rent one that's a co-shared kitchen space, right? So you want to list that down. Any other expenses that you think of, anything that you're coming out of pocket with for your business,
Right.
right?
Right.
Look at your bank statements and whatnot. That
Yes.
often is a good place to go back to double check, like, what am I spending money on in terms of my business? And then from there, the second piece is, so what are you focusing on? Like, how is your service in health and wellness really going to impact society on your specific client? So if you're focusing on creating tasty meals for people who have maybe diabetes, then your health and wellness goals is you want to increase the lifespan, the longevity and health of those people who suffer from diabetes, right? So that's the broader goal, right? You want to give them a
Right.
better quality of life, right? And so
Yes.
that's the need for your external need, is being able to provide that service, those products for that particular person or your
Yeah.
target group of people. And so then from there, you can do some searching and finding funders, finding grantors that specifically, one, have an interest in health and wellness, and then two, an interest possibly in members of society that suffer from diabetes, and then three, depending on what type of business that you are, maybe you're a woman-based business, maybe you are a business owner with a disability, then you want to
Gotcha.
find funders who also cater or focus their funding efforts into entrepreneurs such as yourself. So you have the external need, health and wellness, general, broad. You have your specific target client audience, persons with diabetes, and then also another search would be funders who fund people such as yourself, the entrepreneur such as yourself. Was that helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. Very helpful because when I think about just say, for instance, this media company that I've started, there are quite a bit of startup costs. I mean, you got lights, you got
Exactly.
computers, you got cameras, microphones, internet based equipment. And I mean, it can go into the thousands, the tens of thousands of dollars that you need to invest to get yourself to a reasonable level of media production quality. And so when you think about that, that's sometimes for a lot of people, that's a lot of money that you need to come up with to try to just get going and have the basics so that you can be in the media space. And so thinking about that, I mean, if you just had again a $10,000, $15,000 grant that you could find and get funded and awarded for, and getting that free money without any interest attached to it, that's huge.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would definitely encourage everybody watching and listening that this could be a game changer for you. I know it's going to require some work, some time, some effort, research, and you just got to sit down and do a lot of the paperwork related to applying for these grants. But it's well worth it. I mean, it's well worth it in the
Absolutely.
long run. To get you
Absolutely
up and
agree.
going. So I appreciate you sharing that, Bejanae, once again. Third question that we have, more popular, one of the most popular questions is, what is the process for applying for a grant? I think you may have touched on that a little bit, but can you go into that just in a little bit more detail?
Absolutely. So the first step, and we actually put this in a book. So as like I'm an educator by trade, so we put together 12 quick steps to writing winning classroom grants for educators, for teachers, so they're not spending out of pocket, so they can get the resources that they need to do their jobs well. And what we found out is that those 12 same steps are applicable for entrepreneurs, for small business owners, for those who are not teachers who are also looking for grants. And so the first step in the process when applying, one is get really clear about what the needs are, as I just
Okay.
mentioned, right? What are your needs internally? What are your needs externally? So when you start your search for grant funding, you're not kind of all over the place like that might be a good idea. You want to really set yourself up for success and
Right.
make sure that you're in alignment with the funder and that the funder is in alignment with you, right? It's like with dating online, right? You want to
Right.
get the swipe rights on you, right? You want to get the swipe right, so you want to make sure that you have some things in common
Yes.
before you go out for a date with a funder, so to speak. So
Gotcha.
so that's the first step for sure in
And can
applying
you
for grants. Yeah.
show us that cover of the book again, and we'll include a
Yeah.
link in the description. 12 quick steps to writing winning classroom grants. Okay, excellent. Okay, that we will
Yes.
have the link to that for those who will be interested.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, were there's anything else that you had to related to
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, just in terms for applying for grants. So one is really get centered on what are the needs internally and externally, and then looking for funding sources that are in alignment with what your needs are, externally and internally. And one cheap way, one cost friendly, effective way, because we're all about the free 99 where we can be,
Right.
are those grant resources that you share. We also have a list that we curate from quite a few databases that we pull in specifically for educators, for entrepreneurs, for nonprofits that we can share as well. That again takes that legwork out of finding grants, but can
Okay.
be also targeted to what your needs are, right? Because that's half the battle, is where do I even go? The other
Mm.
free 99, that one is not a free 99, but this free 99 is just going on Google, y'all. Let's go on Google and type in on Google a couple of keywords. So once you're clear on your needs, it's easier for you to type in keywords online. So of course you're going to type in, if you're a small business, you want to put in small business grants, right? And then usually what I put in is a plus sign
Okay.
in between my next phrase in that keyword search. So I would put small business grants plus, I'm based in Georgia, so I'll put Georgia plus whatever my specific industry or area is in, right? So for example, for you, yours is media, right? So maybe I would put
Yes.
small business grants plus media plus wherever your geographical location is, right?
Okay.
And see what kind of pops up for you. And as you're looking through, as you kind of get skilled with those keyword searches, using technology, right, to help cut down on some of the legwork that we have to do, people can set up what's called a Google alert, and you can go to Google and type in Google Alert, and it'll tell you how to set up a Google Alert just by using keywords. Yeah, so Google Alert is a game changer because it helps take out some of that manual lead work of having to go online and every day maybe searching for keywords for grants. So once you have a couple of keywords that you're finding grants from, you can plug that into a Google Alert, and Google will scour the entire internet for you for those specific keywords and can send you an email either daily, weekly, or whatever frequency that you like to let you. Here are some other pages that have these specific keywords on there that may be of interest to you that may have free grant opportunities. So it's good to, one, see who's out there, the funders who are offering grants, maybe in media startup, right? Things of that nature, health and wellness, or in education, or in food, in the food industry. And it's also helpful to know sometimes there are press releases that funders will post and say, hey, we gave this amount to so many other folks. That's also helpful because they're giving out money for that. Okay, I need to put them on my list of somebody to circle back to because they could potentially be funders for my small business because they have an interest here.
Wow, Bejanae, you laced us up tight. Google Alerts. I had never heard of Google Alerts. So that is one I'll be adding to my own playbook here of things to put in. And
And
yeah,
it's free.
and it's free. Yeah. We love free. That's what it's all about. Yeah, free money, free everything.
Free
Yes,
resources. That's
free
right.
resources. Exactly. So, and also again, I like that other point, and I like to highlight that in terms of finding where a funder has given money, free money to another organization or another business that might be similar to yours or in that same line, and just going back to that source essentially, because that might be automatically trigger you to know that there's alignment there, right? And so that makes a lot of sense. Great. Thank you for that. Again, so fourth question, how can I increase my chances of getting a grant?
Okay, so as we just mentioned, you want to make sure that there's alignment between what your needs are and the funder. So that's the one. That's the first top way to
All
increase your
right.
chances, right? You don't want to just shoot your shot in a pool that may not be fit for you, right?
Okay, right.
So
I got it.
that's the first step. The other thing is I would get in a space to where as you're starting to write grants, just to save everything. So you could save things in Google Docs or a file somewhere, because what I've noticed is as you are writing grants, the funders tend to ask the same type of questions, maybe ask them a different way. So if
Right.
you save your grant applications, usually I'll go online if I find a grant application that fits my particular business. I'll copy those questions from the website, drop them over into a Google Doc or something like that I can save and access later on. Type my questions in there first, make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I can get my spelling correct and all those other things, right? And
Right.
then I'll have that copy from when I'm applying for another grant, because you do want to cast your net wide once you have alignment with funders, right? You want to cast
Gotcha.
your net wide, but you also want to save your time and not having to start from scratch each and every time. You
Yes,
can go back and copy and paste and maybe tweak a little bit, massage a little bit what you've written before,
that's right.
for the next funding application, for the next grant application.
Yeah, makes beautiful sense. Because time is a commodity, particularly your entrepreneur or budding entrepreneur wanting to get your business lifted off the ground, still have a full-time job, might have still
Right.
family responsibilities. There's not that much free time that many of us have to do things. So to have that, again, saving those applications so you don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel every single time and use kind of a copy and paste system, maybe to pull that information from a previous grant and put it into another grant or grants that you're looking at, makes a lot of sense. Again, streamlining that time so that it doesn't take you as much to apply, and again, casting that net wide. I love that. Thank you. Last question: what are the most common mistakes to avoid when applying for a grant?
Yes. So I'm going to share three. There are three that I see quite often. And so one is making sure that whether you are a small business, you're a nonprofit, or whoever you are and you're applying for grants, you want to make sure that you have your your infrastructure in place. And what I mean by that is making sure that you have your paperwork together. So if you are a small business, you need to make sure that you have maybe a business bank account, right? Or
Yes.
some sort of presence on social media. It could be a Facebook page. It could be a website. People want to know, if I'm giving money, are you real? Are you legit? I want to make sure I'm not giving my dollars to some kind of spam account or something like that, right? So make sure that you have your business paperwork in place. You actually have maybe your LLC or whatever it is with the state already set up. So make sure that you have your paperwork together, because they're going to ask you for that, especially if they're giving out a grant. They're going to want to be able to cut that check right into your account. Well, you got to have a business account. So just keep those things in mind, because those things are going to be super, super important to have in place. Same thing for nonprofits. You want to make sure you have your 50C3B elemental P in place, all your paperwork together, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Another common mistake is people not actually answering the question. So, for example, if I asked you, Quincy, what is your name? How would you respond to me and tell me and respond to that question?
Well, most people call me Q or QB. Would that be a correct answer for?
Yes. And usually what I do is make it super simple. So whatever question that the funder is asking you in the grant application, I would turn that question into a statement. So if the funder is asking you, what is your name? Then you would say, my name is Q or QB or blah, 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 right? So turn that question into a statement so that the funder knows you are directly answering the question. And it will also, for you, be a refresher and a reminder that you did answer the question. So just
answer the question.
Yeah, just answer the question, y'all. Be explicit and answer what they are asking you. Now, as you kind of go through grants, you'll kind of see that there are some nuances, because sometimes funders will ask a question and it's not really clear, like, what are they talking about? Like, what are they really asking me?
Right.
And so it's helpful. Grantors, funders often will put an FAQ, a frequently asked questions list or something on their website. Read that, y'all. Anything that they share that is free information, set yourself up for success. And don't be in a rush to not read it. That's a common mistake. Read all those bits of information, because they are trying to help you also get the grant as well. So read the FAQs, because it's a lot of common questions that they may receive from other grantees, potential applicants, and they're trying to reduce your learning curve for you so that you can be most successful in applying, because they want you to. They actually want you to be successful and apply. So read the FAQs, read whatever free resources that they have about the grant. Don't make the mistake and avoid reading that piece. Make sure that you answer the question directly, right? Make sure that you have your infrastructure in place. And last but not least, I would say make sure that you have enough time, if you can, before you submit it, to have somebody to proofread, and we do offer that service, to proofread it for you, because what we do is, one, we make sure that it's grammatically correct before it goes out, because that reflects on your business.
Right.
If you have a lot of typos, and trust me, I typo all the time. I typo just because it's quick. I'm trying to get to messages, but I know if I'm sending out a formal document like that, I want to polish it. I want to make sure it represents my business. I want to put myself in the best light. So in those cases, I'm going to have somebody else reread over my writing to, one, make sure it's grammatically correct and doesn't have a lot of typos in there, but as well as if there's areas in a particular question that I'm answering that I could strengthen that answer, if I can add more details or more input, because oftentimes once you submit it, that's it. They don't come back and maybe ask you more questions. Well, you said this and we weren't really clear about that.
Right.
You don't get those opportunities the second time around. So you want to make sure the first time you submit it out that you're putting your best foot forward, that it's clear copy, it communicates well your business, and you have somebody who's experienced with grant writing who can offer you some suggestions, or just say, hey, add a little bit more detail here about this, again, to set yourself up for success. So those are some common mistakes I see: not having the business or the nonprofit infrastructure paperwork in place, not answering the question directly, and not taking advantage of those resources that the funder may have on their site to help you with your grant application, and then making sure that you have time to have someone else to look over your grant application who's knowledgeable before you
Yes.
submit it, so that you're setting yourself up for success, increasing your chances to getting that grant, winning that money. Okay.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're all about. We're about taking it from one level to the next. And so this is awesome. This is awesome. Awesome free game, awesome free information. And again, we're trying to secure the bag and get to the free money. Bejanae, thank you for all of that. I want to go right into, for anyone watching, how if they need someone, need a little extra assistance, need some guidance. I know, as we've talked all the time, you have kind of a consulting company, and you offer some. Talk to the people about how what you offer, and if they need again that extra assistance, they just feel like for whatever reason they can't get all of this done on their own. Talk about your services and how could you assist someone in that regard.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have been working with my team for quite some time now. I came from the science field and into the education space, and now into this business consulting space. And I just marry all those different experiences that I have together to really help tweak and amplify and elevate, whether you're a nonprofit, whether you're a for-profit, whether you're a startup looking for funding to help you live out your vision and grow your business and your organization. And so what we offer is we can offer coaching sessions. So I call it our funding coach, right? So if you need specific one-on-one, this podcast session wasn't enough for you and you want more information, you want to lock in, we can lock in with you. And so we offer that one-on-one grants, funding, coaching sessions, which we'll talk more specifically about what your organizational needs, what your business needs may be, and what are some best strategies and who may be best to approach in terms of your funding opportunity. That's right. We want to make sure that entrepreneurs, educators, nonprofit organizations are set up for success. And so our team is skilled at being able to go in, look at your grant, give you some tips, also some support with grammar, typos, things like that, to help set you up for the best success and your chances at winning a grant. And so we do offer that service as well. And last but not least, we are all about teaching people how to fish, right? And we
Yes.
also provide training classes. So how do you learn the basics of grant writing so that you can amplify and live out your vision and your dreams of growing your business, your program, your service to better help the community? And so we actually have a class. I'm excited.
Wow.
Coming up in January.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
on January the 6th from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And I know that sounds like a lot of time, but all the folks who've attended the class said, "Oh my God, that went by so quick. I wish I had more time." So it's from 12 to 4. It's a Saturday. And we have different packages that you can sign up for. But what's great about it is that you will have me
Yes.
one-on-one live. We'll be virtually on a Zoom call. So it doesn't matter where you are in the US or in the world, you can lock in, tap in, and learn how to grant write from scratch. Okay. And so in my session with my teacher background, it's not what we call a sit and get, right? Where I sit here and just talk to you for the entire time. And then you walk away still confused or like, okay, where do I even get started? During the session, we stop. I share some content knowledge with you, some information about grant writing, and you apply it right away. So I have you to start working on a grant application while we're actually in the live webinar. So it's very powerful. It's been super helpful. And so I know that will offer people who are new to the grant writing space that foundational confidence, like I got this, I can do this, right? And apply for grants, but then just to have a live coach there to help guide you through the process is usually what people want, right? I want some real-time input
That's
that
right.
can help me with my grant writing for my business and my nonprofit.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm think I'll be locked in on that one as well. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. It's time to turn up in 2024. Let's start it right, y'all.
Let's get all the dollars. We are leaving nothing on the table.
Nothing on the table. Yeah. No loose bags. No loose bags. They all secure. Yeah.
That's right.
Good deal. All right. That's what's up. So with that, we'll include links in the description for all the ways to reach you, as well as the link to sign up for that class if you are interested in attending. But is there any other things that you would like to share as far as just different opportunities to connect with you, or just whatever your social media platforms are that
Yeah,
you?
connect with us. We oftentimes will send out a random funding alert, and it's great for educators or nonprofit businesses. So we drop those resources on our Instagram and Facebook account. So on Instagram, you can find us at BK underscore consultancy. So that's BK underscore CONSULTANCY. Or if you're on Facebook, it's at BK Consultancy, no underscore. So BKCONSULTANCY. And so whether you're on Facebook, you're on IG, lock in, follow us. We share resources, opportunities, and it's just a great community to be a part of because we're all trying to get the bag together, right? And there's tons.
Yes.
There's millions, there's billions of dollars out there, y'all. So
Okay.
why not us tapping into it?